Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Jashodanandana Gaja Janaranjana Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtottariशत Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtottariशत Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Srimad Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 18th, entitled The Battle Between Lord Bor and Hiranyaksha. Text 2, second verse. So, we'll recite the verse. ददर्शतत्राभिजितं धराधरं प्रोन्नीयमानावनिम् अग्रदंष्ट्रया मुष्णन्तमक्ष्णा स्वरुचोरुणश्रिया जहासज्जाहो वनगोचरो मृगा ददर्श तत्राभिजितं धराधरम् प्रोन्नीयमानावने प्रोन्नीयमाना sorry प्रोन्नीयमानावनिम् अग्रदंष्ट्रया मुष्णन्तमक्ष्णा स्वरुचोरुणस्त्रिया श्रिया जहास चाहो वनगोचरो मृगा ददर्श तत्राभिजितं धराधरम् प्रोन्नीय मानावनिम् अग्रदंष्ट्रया मुष्णन्तमक्ष्णा स्वरुचोरुणश्रिया जहास चाहो वनगोचरो मृगा ददर्श तत्राभिजितं धराधरम् प्रोन्नीयमानावनिमग्रदंष्ट्रया मुष्णन्तमक्ष्णा स्वरुचोरुणश्रिया जहा स चाहो वनगोचरो मृगा ददर्श तत्राभिजितं धराधरम् प्रोन्नीयमानावनिमग्रदंष्ट्रया मुष्णन्तमक्ष्णा स्वरुचोरुणश्रिया जहास चाहो वनगोचरो मृगा ददर्श तत्राभिजितं धराधरम् प्रोनीयमानावनमग्रदंष्ट्रया मुष्णन्तमक्ष्णा स्वरुचोरुणश्रिया चाहो वनगोचरो मृगा ददर्श तत्राभिजितं धराधरम् प्रोनीयमानावनिमग्रदंष्ट्रया मुष्णन्तमक्ष्णा स्वरुचोरुणश्रिया जहास चाहो वनगोचरो मृगा ददर्श तत्राभिजितं धराधरम् प्रोनीयमानावनिमग्रदंष्ट्रया सुरुचोरुणश्रिया जहास चाहो वनगोचरो मृगा word to word meaning dadarsha he saw tatra there abhijitam the victorious dhara the earth dharam daring proniyamana being raised upward avanim the earth agradamstraya by the tip of his tusk mushnantam who was diminishing akshna with his eyes swaruchaha hiranyaksha's own splendor aruna reddish shriya radiant jahasa he laughed cha and aho oh vanagochara amphibious mrigaha beast. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON. Translation. He saw there the all powerful personality of Godhead in his boar incarnation, bearing the earth upward on the ends of his tusks and robbing him of his splendor with his reddish eyes. The demon laughed, "O an amphibious beast!" Purport. In a previous chapter, we have discussed the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Varaha, the boar. While Varaha with his tusks engaged in uplifting the submerged earth from the depths of the waters. This great demon Hiranyaksha met him and challenged him, calling him a beast. Demons cannot understand the incarnations of the Lord. They think that his incarnations as a fish or boar or tortoise are big beasts only. They misunderstand the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead even in his human form, and they deride his descent. In the Chaitanya Sampradaya, there is sometimes a demonic misconception about the descent of Nityanand Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu's body is spiritual, but demonic persons consider the body of the Supreme Personality to be material just like ours. Avajananti ma mudha. Persons who have no intelligence deride the transcendental form of the Lord as material. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरोभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. In yesterday's verse, we discussed how uh, we heard that how uh, Hiranyaksha, upon understanding that there is uh, some opponent suitable to him in fighting, he immediately went to that opponent, so or enemy, whatever. The enemy was none other than Lord. hmm. So in his incarnation of boar, hmm, so of course Lord took this form. Uh, and Varuna, who is referred as Jalesha in the previous verse. So, based on his words only, he went to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord had predicted also that he will be destroyed. And despite the Lord's prediction, and despite knowing, of course, we can't say that he knew that the Lord is Almighty, but still, an intelligent person, before fighting, what he does, he first analyzes the strength of the opponent. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, we see Arjuna, sorry, Duryodhana, before fighting, what he did, he saw who all are arrayed on the other side of the battlefield to combat with him. So while fighting, we have to see the strength of the opponent, and accordingly we have to plan. So sometimes we may just think of not fighting if we are not sure. Of course, on the battlefield of on the battlefield when they go, there is no question of returning. So that is a sign of coward, cowardness. But but Duryodhana, he wanted to see the strength. So one should not be proud of one's military strength. His military strength was more. We know that he's out of the 18 Akshauhini teams, so he had 11, and the other opponent had 7, right? So his strength was much far better than the other side, but still he chose to study the strength of the Pandavas. And of course, demons don't understand also the strength of the personality of Godhead. Uh, they deride him, or they think that they don't actually understand the greatness, as we see in this same episode that Duryodhana, he was happy to have the Akshoni Senas, while Arjuna was happy to have the Lord himself. Of course, the Lord had said he will not fight, but still, wherever the Lord is there, that side will turn victorious. We know that. That's a phrase. I think Baldev Vidya Bhushan has composed this phrase. Jayastu Pandu Putranam Yesham Pakshe Janardana. So demons they don't understand. And especially in the previous verse, we see that Prabhupada comments at the last. Such demonic persons are less intelligent. They dare to fight with Vishnu, who is known as Ajita, or one who has never been conquered. So, Lord Vishnu, he always uh, emerges victorious. Uh, so, he has never been defeated. So, so first he had killed Hiranyakashipu, right? Lord in his no firstborn. Is it that he wanted to take revenge and yeah, firstborn? Yeah, Hiranyakashipu wanted to take revenge. Yeah. So he also didn't understand that already Lord has assumed such a great form as poor and killed his brother. So Hiranyakashipu also is less intelligent because he also should have considered. So just like Hiranyaksha, his brother. So here another way demons are told to be less intelligent. So especially because they don't understand the supreme personality of Godhead. So when he assumes different forms. So from that point of view, it is explained in this verse that in the second verse that demons are less intelligent. So yeah, basically I'll just read the words. Dadarsha tatra abhijitam dharadharam. Here also word abhijitam means victorious. You all must be knowing, but Abhijit, so many times we use the word, but I never thought one who is, you all knew before? Yeah. Abhijit means. So he is victorious always. Uh, Proniyamana vanim agradamshtaya. So Proniyamana means he raised upward. Avanim. Avani is another name of earth. So, so earth has many names. In this word, Dhara has come and Avani has come. Prithvi has come. Some other names you all wish to say? Bhumi. Bhumi. So Avani Agradamshtaya. He has lifted the earth on the tip of his tusk. Hmm. So we see uh, uh, Jayadev Goswami also. He composes a wonderful verse glorifying the Varaha incarnation of the Lord. Vasan वसति दशन शिखरे धरणी तव लग्न धरणी धारण खिन चक सॉरी शशिनी कलंक कलेव निमग्न हाँ केशव धृता शूकर रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे वसति दशन शिखरे शिखरे मीन्स ऑन द टॉप धरणी तव लग्न Shashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimagna. So it is just like he's depicting it in a wonderful way. It is just like uh, basically he's talking about the Shweta Varaha here. There are two Varahas. So he is comparing Lord with the moon and Earth as the black spot on the moon. So we can see that means that the Varaha described uh, Jayadev Goswami is Shweta Varaha. So he's telling it Shashini Kalanka. So it is a mark on the moon like that. So like that he is describing wonderfully in a poetic way. And Mushnantam Akshna Swarucho Runa Shriya. So of course he is diminishing the splendor of Hiranyaksha. And Hiranyaksha, what he is doing? He is laughing on the Lord. Jahasa. Saying what? Aho vanagocharo mrigaha. Oh, amphibious beast. So So to call someone a beast is a derogatory term. Beast means you are telling you are violent or you are uncivilized. Hmm. You are less than human. Subhuman is one word. Hmm. So, so to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is telling you are a big beast. So of course he saw the Lord assuming the form of a Varaha of boar, but still he couldn't think that an ordinary Varaha and an ordinary boar can't do such task. So when he saw at that moment, Lord was lifting the earth from the Rasatala, from the lowest region of the universe. So by just thinking also, he could have thought that an ordinary animal can't do this task. But he is less intelligent. As we know, demons are less intelligent. So he couldn't think intelligently that Lord is so powerful and an ordinary beast can't do such task. Hmm. So, but he started laughing. Yeah. So here Prabhupada writes, uh, while Varaha with his task engaged in uplifting the submerged earth from the depths of the water, this great demon Hiranyaksha met him and challenged him, calling him a beast. So, yeah. So, at least upon seeing this act, this wonderful act of Lord, he should have thought whether I should fight with the Lord. But no. Hmm. Reading ahead, demons cannot understand the incarnations of the Lord. They think that his incarnations as a fish or boar or tortoise are big beasts only. Hmm. Yeah. So, so we see in all these three incarnations, as Meena Avtara as a fish, as tortoise Avtara, Kurma, and as Varaha Avtara. So the Lord perform wonderful acts. So we see that Krishna is called as Adbhuta Karmani. So wonderful acts. So an ordinary fish can't. We see that the description when the king he put first it was very small size, then the king put it in a bigger water body up to the time it increased and he had to put it into the ocean. So we can see that an ordinary fish doesn't increase like that in size. And if we see the Kurma Avtara, so the Lord held upon his back the very big Mandara mountain. So how can any tortoise, ordinary tortoise, do such tasks? That is possible only for the Lord. And even in this incarnation as Bora, so the Lord so wonderfully lifted the entire earth on his tusk. We can imagine on the earth there are so many oceans, so many mountains, so many big bodies are there. But still the Lord wonderfully lifted the earth. So this activity cannot be performed again by an beast. So demons they don't understand this. Hmm. And reading ahead, they misunderstand the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead even in his human form, and they deride his descent. So we know that Krishna himself tells this. Uh, so in the 11th verse of 9th chapter, Avajananti ma mudha manushim tanumashrita param bhavam ajananta mama bhuta maheshwaram. So Maheshwaram means basically he is what Krishna Prabhupada translates it as. So he is the controller. Ishvara means controller. Maha means he is great, great controller. And just see what Prabhupada translates for Maheshwara. The supreme proprietor. So Prabhupada translates it as the supreme proprietor. So avajananti ma mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Param bhava means transcendental nature. So of course the Lord he appears from his internal potency. And another point is by intelligence, by observing what Lord does, based on what He has said in the verses preceding this verse. So we can understand that Lord is not ordinary. So we see in the fourth verse of this chapter, Krishna tells that he is pervaded throughout the universe in his unmanifested form. That is, the Lord is telling about his impersonal feature. So Lord has different features. One is impersonal, and he has a personal feature also. So in the fourth verse, Krishna is telling how he is pervaded throughout the universe. Uh, what is that? Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matstani sarvabhutani nachaham teshavastita. So everything is upon me, situated on me. That is, I am the base, I am the adhara, but I am not within them. And in the next verse, Krishna is telling, Nachamatstani bhutani pashyame yogam aishwaram bhuta nacha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavana. Yeah. So, yeah, in this verse, Krishna is telling uh, everything that is created does not rest in me. Hmm. So we can see that Lord is there separately as the personality of Godhead also. He has a personal feature. And in the 10th verse, the verse just before the 11th verse, so Krishna is telling that how everything in this universe is working under his superintendence. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetu nanenu kaunteya jagat viparivartate. So we see that just like for instance, what immediately comes to the mind is that how different plants are trees and trees are growing, how there is vegetation across the earth. So we see that a farmer he just puts a seed, and based on the seed, different seeds come out as different plants or trees. And there is no intelligence required in doing agriculture, we know that. But just by doing some ordinary or silly thing, a farmer uh, is able to uh, bring up so many nice things. So he brings up good flowers, uh, then cotton, and then so many good vegetables, so many fruits, so many grains. So much variety is there. And how is this all possible? So we see that it is automatically happening, but no. So it is happening because so Lord is behind this. So Lord is behind the material nature. Material nature is inert; it cannot act. But because Lord has entered into it, it becomes active and it starts. It becomes light. It floats uh, in the sky, so all the planets are floating. So this is because Lord has entered them, and because of his control. So we see that the Lord who is wonderfully performing all these activities cannot be an ordinary person. So that's what Prabhupada is explaining very wonderfully in his purport to the 11th verse of 9th chapter Bhagavad Gita. So in fact, lot of deep knowledge is there. So we have to study. Yeah. So like this, we can see that intelligent people they don't understand. Although Lord has explained about what all activities He does, so they misunderstand. Whenever He comes, He thinks that He is a common man. He is one amongst us, or He may be a powerful personality. But no, He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the controller. So Krishna, Brahma, he prays, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So he is there are different controllers, just like in the ordinary management of affairs in the material world. For instance, in an office, you may have a director. So above him, there would be uh, president. So different levels would be there, and different people are controlling different persons. But ultimately, we see that Krishna is the supreme controller. He is controlling all the controllers of the material world, and no one is controlling him. So, so he is not an ordinary person. So he may assume a human form. In fact, he is not assuming; it is his original form. So Krishna when in Bhagavad Gita he explains, sorry, Prabhupada, when he explains in Bhagavad Gita. So I think it's the fifth verse of fourth chapter. Yeah. So what is that verse? Fifth chapter. Ajopi san avyaya. That is sixth. Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim sam adhishtaya sambhavami atma maya. So Maya means it refers to different things or different meanings. So here in this word, Krishna is telling means out of my mercy. So Maya means, of course, yeah, Ajopisam Avyayatma. Avyayatma means Krishna. Sorry, Ajo means he doesn't take birth. Avyayatma means he doesn't perish. Bhutanam Ishwaropisan. He is the controller of the living entities. Prakritim swam avashtabhya sambhavami atma maya. So Krishna is appearing out of his mercy. So it also means that Krishna is coming. Yeah, Prabhupada explains self same body. Self same body means he is not assuming a human form, but actually our form is made after the form of the Lord. So especially the original form of God is Dvibhuja Shama Sundara Rupa, and that is Krishna. And when he comes, he descends to this material world. So Lord think that sorry, ordinary people think that he has come in a human form. So human form means it has limitations. So for instance, however great a weightlifter may be, he may lift up to, I don't know, maybe 1,000 kgs. No, may not be 300 max, 200 to 300. But Lord, He is lifting the entire earth. So we can't think about the Lord through our material intelligence. So He is Achintya. Achintya means, so Prakritim, what is? He is beyond the material nature. So, so anything beyond the material nature cannot be understood by our intelligence. So Lord is like that. So, however intelligence we think use, we can't understand the Lord. But when we understand that the Lord has Achintya Shakti, so that's what Krishna is telling. Yogam Aishwaram, Pashyame Yogam Aishwaram. So in the purport, Prabhupada is quoting from Nirukti Vedic Dictionary, Yujyate Nena Durgateshu Karyeshu. The Supreme Lord is performing inconceivably wonderful pastimes, displaying His energy. So how inconceivable it is to think that the entire planet Earth can be lifted on the tusk. So let alone lift it. We can't even behold this sight actually. So, so for that also Arjuna was given uh, transcendental vision to behold the Vishwarupa of the Lord. So we can't even become a witness for this act. So let alone do this act. So the Lord is wonderful, and because of His inconceivable energy, He performs such pastimes. So I'm remembering the pastime, the the story of the cobbler and the Brahmana, which Prabhupada explained. The cobbler, as we know, although he was not clean, obviously he appeared to be less intelligent by his profession, but still he was a great devotee. And the Brahmana, so when we know that when the Lord was passing by his, uh, when Narad Muni was passing by his uh, ashrama. So the Narad Muni he asked Narad Muni, "Where are you going?" And he said, "Oh, I am going to the Supreme. I am going to meet Narayana." And then, so of course, when he returned back, Lord, he asked, "What was the Lord doing?" Uh, and then he told he was inserting an elephant in the eye of the needle. So he didn't believe that. But when he came to cobbler and he explained, the cobbler said, "Oh, my Lord is so wonderful that he has put so many big trees, so many of them in one fruit, and of this what is that? Which is that tree? Banyan tree. So why can't the Lord do this wonderful act? So he knew about the energies of the Lord, the cobbler. So we can see that how Lord is inconceivable, and he does wonderful acts. He's already doing in the universe. So maya dekshina prakriti suyate characharam. So because of him, wonderfully all these big trees and plants are coming out. uh, and especially in this activity, as in this pastime, as the Lord Varaha lifted the planet Earth, he acted so wonderfully, and devotees celebrate that. So especially we see that uh, Jaydev Goswami, by composing such nice words in glorifying this pastime, so he is happily taking pleasure in the pastimes of the Lord. So devotees of the Lord, they take pleasure. So in this way, we can understand that whenever the Lord comes, whether it is any animal's form or in the form of a human being, he doesn't fall down from his transcendental situation. He doesn't get contaminated. So especially the point to note here is, so Lord doesn't accept a material body. So when we take birth, we are forced to take birth according to our previous karma, and we assume a material body which is given to us for some time, which will ultimately perish. Hmm. So basically, this body which is there is a material body, and it's subject to destruction, as we have discussed in the few verses before these words, that how everything, the body basically is going to be mixed into the five elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. So in Kurma Purana, it is told that the difference which applies to the material bodies, the difference between the body and the soul, it doesn't apply to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Deha dehi vibhedoyam neshware vidyate kvachit. So deha dehi vibheda. So this duality cannot be applied to the Lord. So the Lord and his body, it is one and the same. It is spiritual. Hmm. So I am remembering that when Lord winded up his pastimes, so that was also when he wound. So it apparently appears that he was being killed by a hunter. And it also appears that there was some kind of blood which came out. Hmm. So all these things may be there, but we can understand, even ordinarily speaking, even we know that we are eternal. What to say of Supreme Lord Krishna? So, yeah, and of course, but the Lord's body is spiritual. That's the main difference. And it may appear that Lord's, really Lord, immediately upon getting hurt by that arrow, he fell down and all. But that is again a pastime of the Lord, and that is so that the demons hmm, again will maintain their uh, thought that the Lord is material. So in this way, we can see that Lord is never material. So he is spiritual, and he comes Atma Maya means he comes with his internal energy. So we are forced. So external energy means made up of five material elements, but the Lord never comes in touch with the external energy of his. So in this way, the Lord, he is Achyuta. He never falls down. So whether he takes the form of Varaha, or whether he does any activity, he may become a chariot driver of Arjuna, but he doesn't fall down from his situation. And also, uh, uh, Prabhupada is explaining about certain class of people who deride Nityanand Prabhu also in this way. I'll just read. In the Chaitanya Sampradaya, there is sometimes a demonic misconception about the descent of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu's body is spiritual, but demonic persons consider the body of the Supreme Personality to be material just like ours. Avajananti ma mudha. Persons who have no intelligence deride the transcendental form of the Lord as material. Hmm. So there are some people who accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who say that Nityanand Prabhu is a material person, or he is not supreme personality of Godhead. But we know that Lord himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you assume Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as supreme personality of Godhead, then immediately you have to assume Nityanand Prabhu as supreme personality of Godhead, because Lord Chaitanya has appeared in his five features. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavtaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Bhaktavtaram Bhaktakyam. Bhakta means as a incarnation of devotee. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he didn't appear as the supreme, so he appeared as a devotee of the supreme. Bhakta Avtaram. Bhaktakyam. So it's an expansion of uh, yeah. Hmm. As a devotee, Bhaktaavtaram Bhaktakyam, sorry, Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam, Bhakta Rupa. So sorry, Bhakta Rupa applies to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam. Swarupakam means it is Nityanand Prabhu. He is the incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, sorry, expansion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, expansion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means we know that just as Krishna expands into Balram, who is his immediate expansion, so similarly Nityanand Prabhu is immediate expansion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he is Balram, and we just know that we know that how Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur also tells that only Nityanand Prabhu after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can perform Ras Leela. So, so we can see that there is no difference between Nityanand Prabhu uh, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, but there are certain class of people. So there are some Sahajiyas. So Prabhupada calls them in one purport of Chaitanya Charitamrita as uh, what is that verse? Uh, yeah, Kunapatma Kunapatmavadis. So this is we can understand that Yasyatma Buddhi Kunape Tridhatuke. So basically, they are applying this to themselves. They are thinking that we are made up of these three material elements, and they are projecting this idea to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nityanand Prabhu also. So basically, they are some kind of Sahajiyas. So I'll just read the Patpat. Uh, in his Anubhashya, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes there's a class of so-called devotees called Prakrita Sahajiyas who think that Nityanand Prabhu is an ordinary human being. They have spread the news that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Nityanand Prabhu to return to Bengal from Odisha just to marry and beget children. This is certainly a great offense against Nityanand Prabhu. Yeah, so they say that we know that in this verse only. So here it is told. I'll read the verse. Nityanande Agnya Dila Yaha Gauda Deshe. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Nityanand Prabhu to go to Bengal. So that's true. But these people, what they say, they asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Nityanand Prabhu to go there and marry and beget children. But here in this verse it is told Anargala Prema Bhakti Kariha Prakashe. So he is told Nityanand Prabhu to go and preach there uh, yeah, about Prema Bhakti. But here they are speculating in this way. So reading ahead, such an offense is called Pashanda Buddhi or an atheistic remark. Hmm. So Pashanda Buddhi means this verse appears in Padma Purana. So we have often heard this verse, but today we'll try to understand the entire verse. You all must be knowing also. अर्चे अर्चे विष्णु शिलादिर गुरुषु नरमतिर वैष्णवे जाति बुद्धिर विष्णोर्वा वैष्णवानाम कलिमलमथने पादतीर्थेम तीर्थेम बुद्धि श्री विष्णोर नामनि मंत्रे सकल कलुषहे शब्दे सामान्य बुद्धिर विष्णु सर्वेश्वरे तद इतर समधिर यस्य वा नारकीसः. So in Padma Puran, different hellish conceptions are explained. First is Arche Vishnu Shiladhir Gurushu Naramatir. Hmm. So basically, to consider, ha, sorry, Arche Vishnu Shiladir. Hmm. So to consider the deity or the Archa Vigraha to be a stone. Hmm. Shila means stone. So this is first offense. We know that Lord appears himself out of his mercy as the Archa Vigraha to accept our service. So it is not stone but the Lord himself. So this is first. Then Gurushu Naramatir. Hmm. To consider the Guru as an ordinary human being. Hmm. So this is second. Then third is Vaishnave Jati Buddhir. To consider that as just like the Indian Brahmanas, when Prabhupada devotees so wonderfully were performing all the acts of bhakti, certain people so they were not happy because Lord was sorry because Prabhupada was giving them second initiation. But we know that they were very much superior to the so-called Brahmanas. Hmm. So recently I heard glorification of Shubhog Maharaj by His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj, around 26-minute lecture. In that, Maharaj explains that how uh, two things were distinct in Shubhog Swami Maharaj. Hmm. So which was not seen in devotees, Western devotees. Hmm. Those two things were, of course, two or three. First thing was that he was very well behaved, he was saintly in his behavior, and I am just telling two of them. And one of them was that he didn't eat much. He was Mitabuk. Then Maharaj writes that both these things, that including himself, he writes hmm, that uh, they were not they were not means behaving as a sadhu basically. They were not so what you call, yeah, West means it is not so cultured. So but Shubhog Maharaj was very cultured, so like that Maharaj explained. Uh, yeah, why I'm telling this? Yeah, Vaishnava Jati Buddhir, we are here, yes. Uh, and another thing was that Maharaj said we are expert in not fulfilling the second one requirement of devotee, that he is a Mita book, and Prabhupada also allowed that. But Shubhog Maharaj said that he respected the devotees because especially devotees were so dedicated, so enthusiastic. So he was studying in the universities. He knew that how fallen Westerners are, but still upon seeing this new devotees so sincere, he respected them. So that point Maharaj said, contrary to the Indian Brahmanas who didn't accept these disciples of Western disciples of Prabhupada as superior or as advanced. So Vaishnava Jati Buddhir. So this is all also Naraki Buddhi. And विष्णोर्वा वैष्णवानां कलिमल मथने पाद तीर्थेम्बु बुद्धि. So basically to consider the water which passes through the pada tirthe, through the lotus feet of Vishnu or Vaishnavanam, to be ambu means to be ordinary water. Hmm. So to take Charanamrita or the water which washes the pure devotee's feet to be ordinary water. This is also Guru Naraki Buddhi. And Sri Vishnor Namni Mantre Sakala Kalu Shahe Shabde Samanya Buddhir. So we have discussed one, two, three, four hellish uh, concepts or thoughts, and the fourth is to consider that the holy names of the Lord, Shri Vishnu Namni Mantre Sakala Kalu Shahesh, so which has the potency to purify everything, to consider that as Shabde Samanya Buddhi. So ordinary Shabda and the Lord's holy name, they are both are Samanya. So this Buddhi, this is which it is, one, two, three, four, fifth one. And Vishnu Sarveshware, Sarveshwareshware. we know that Swaraj, Jiva Goswami named as Sarveshwara. So, because the Lord is the controller of everyone, Vishnu Sarveshwareshware Tad Itara Samadhir Yasya Va Naraki Saha. So, to consider Vishnu as ordinary, especially Prabhupada translates it as demigods. So, this is also Naraki Buddhi. So, we can see that one thing is that to consider the Vishnu, the supreme personality of Godhead, to be a demigod. Here, at least, to consider him as an ordinary human being. Demigod also means, of course, that is also material, but still to consider Nityanand Prabhu as an ordinary grihastha is such a bad thing, actually. So, it is a Pashanda Buddhi. Pashanda Buddhi. Such an offense is called Pashanda Buddhi or an atheistic remark. Offenders consider Nityanand Prabhu to be like one of them, an ordinary human being. So I was telling no Guna Patma Vadis that Prabhupada would be explaining in the coming uh, lines, words. They do not know of Nityananda Prabhu's identity with the Vishnu Tattva. Thinking Nityanand Prabhu to be an ordinary human being is the business of mental speculators known as Gunapatma Vadis. These people accept the material body, which is a bag of three material elements, Gunape Tridhatuke, as themselves. They think that Nityanand Prabhu's body was similarly material and that it was meant for sense gratification. Whoever thinks in this way is a candidate for the darkest region of hell. Hmm? So, in this way, we can see that how uh, material people they extend their own concept what they think about themselves to others also. They are thinking that we are these bodies we have to enjoy, and they are thinking Nityanand Prabhu also is a body made up of three material elements while his body is completely spiritual. So we see that how in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wonderful explains that Nityanand Prabhu is the source of all the three Purusha avatars. Hmm? And in fact, to tell this much to Lord, to just glorify Nityanand Prabhu as this is also reducing his position. So no, he is the supreme personality of Godhead. So just like to call Priyavan was explaining to call Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as uh, to call Krishna as Narayana or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Narayana means to minimize his position. So similarly, to call Nityanand Prabhu as just as expansion of Purusha Avatara also is to minimize his position. He is the same supreme personality of Godhead. एक ही स्वरूप दोन है भिन्न मात्र काय. So then he assumes different forms. Leelaya Sahaya. So we can see that there is no difference between Krishna and Balram. So there is no difference between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu. So the former thing the is told like there is no difference between Krishna and Balram. Only there is a difference in the color. So they are the same supreme personality of Godhead. So in this way, if someone thinks that Nityanand Prabhu is ordinary, that is a very great, very severe offense. So in this way, we can see that how to consider Lord as an ordinary human being is an offense. So first of all, these demons, when the Lord assumes animal form, they make mockery of him, saying that he is appeared as a beast. But then, when the Lord assumes a human form, also they deride him. But none of these forms are material. So none of these forms are material, and when especially he comes in his human form, uh, he displays all his opulences, and he explains how to understand him, as Krishna is explaining him. And at least after uh, uh, giving oral reception to those uh, explanations of the supreme about himself, we should at least after that we have to come to our senses. Of course this happens only when we get the knowledge in parampara. So we see that Prabhupada in that book, which is that book, uh, So, be what is it? Sword of what is it? Sword of knowledge. Sword of knowledge. Renunciation through wisdom. Yeah. So in that Prabhupada writes, what is it? Mani Ganera Mati Brahma. Muni Ganera Mati Brahma. So big munis, they are great scholars. They write commentary on Bhagavad Gita, but they tell that the Lord is material. Or they say don't surrender to Krishna, but surrender to the person speaking with from Krishna. So they are making difference between Krishna and his soul. Hmm. So this is what Muda, Avajananti Ma Mudha. So they are foolish rascals. So they call Lord also as ordinary human beings. So they might be great poets, but when it comes to Krishna, they cannot explain about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only a devotee can explain uh, the confidential things about the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hmm. So we see that Prabhupada he wrote Bhagavad Gita as it is because all of them, so most of them, all of them, you can say. So while writing commentary on Bhagavad Gita, they have not glorified Krishna. In fact, they have told that Krishna is not a person. That means they are what you call insulting Krishna. So Mayavadis. So Mayavad concept also, especially Mayavad, has different explanations. There are different vadas. There are different theories. But the main vada is Mayavada. Main vada is that Lord assumes an ordinary form when he descends to this material world. So this is the main vada, although there are so many other vadas also. So Lord assumes a material form like yours and mine. But no, the Lord whose name if we chant, whose bhakti if we perform, if we become free from the material nature, then how he is within the clutches of material nature. So we know that verse 7.14, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Vaye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. Upon surrendering to Krishna and performing devotional service to his lotus feet, if we are becoming free from this bodily concept of life, from Maya, then how the Lord is subject to Maya? So this cannot happen. So in this way, we can see that how Hiranyaksha is foolish, and so he is, by laughing at the Lord, calling out as, "Hey beast!" So he is himself making mockery of himself, and he is showing that he is less intelligent. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So any questions or comments? Okay. Hare Krishna, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.